Alright, in this Photoshop 101 video, we're going to go over how the crop tool works. The crop tool is not super important. It's not something that you're going to use a lot. To cut things out, to cut different shapes out, is you're better off using the rectangle marquee tool or the magic wand tool or one of those things to crop out a specific section of a image to add to your designs. But the crop tool is useful if you want to resize the total shape of an image. So for this purposes, this is the size of what a tumbler, 20-ounce tumbler is going to be. Now there's two things we can do to this to make this image fit this size. We can click on the move tool, the transform tool, and drag these edges up to fit so that there's no white space showing. But what that does is it gives us a really weird distort on like the trees. They're kind of elongated, they look a little bit odd. It doesn't look super great. So that's one way to do it. That's not a recommended way to do it. What you could do is you could use the crop tool to make this look a little bit better, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll hit Control Z to get us back down to our regular size here. We're going to go ahead and, in order for the crop tool to work, you cannot do it on a smart object. So we've got our image over here in our layer panel, and it's got a smart object. This little icon here on the bottom right hand corner means it's a smart object. So we'll right click that and we'll go ahead and we will rasterize that layer. So what we'll do is, instead of dragging this to the top and this to the top and left and right, we're going to go ahead and hold down Shift and then click it at one of those dots, and then we're going to drag it up to the top. And what that's going to do is it's going to proportionately enlarge the image so you don't get weird elongated trees or messed up clouds or viewpoints or anything like that. And then we'll hit enter. Now what you see is you've got our image actually goes beyond what our canvas is, and Photoshop will still allow that to happen. So what our canvas shows is what we'll save. But say you wanted to print something from Photoshop and you wanted to print two images on the same canvas size, that way you can print from your larger size printer. If you were to just right click this and duplicate it over to that new layer or that new file, it's gonna duplicate this entire size image, all the extra, even though it's not shown on our canvas. So this is where the crop tool comes in handy. So we'll click on the crop tool, and it's gonna put little lines around the edge of our full canvas, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna hit enter and enter again, and it's gonna crop that little section out. So now if we click on our move tool, we don't have anything extra around the outside. It's completely erased those, it's cropped those out, so the only part of the image we have is the size we need for our actual tumbler. So if you were to move this around, there's nothing on the edges. It cropped those out completely. That is pretty much the only use for the crop tool. The rest of the stuff in crop, the perspective crop and the slice tools and the slice select tools, I've never used those for anything doing these type of designs for sublimation. They're just not necessary. And like I said, the crop tool isn't necessary really either, but it's a quick way to just resize something to your full canvas. But there are better ways to do that, I think. So just touching on everything in the toolbar here, crop tool is not super necessary. The next video we're going to go over is the frame tool. Again, it's not super necessary either, but we'll still go over it. It's kind of a cool little tool. I don't use it for a whole lot of things, but we'll go over that and touch on it a little bit.